So it's summer blockbuster season once again, and once again, Marvel decides to take the first swing. The question is it a hit? Yeah, yeah, it's a hit. So the Marvel Cinematic Universe has its big three heroes. That would be Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. And those are the three that have had solo films. They're also the three that have had specifically solo films since the Avengers movie. But the next three, Black Widow, Hawkeye, and the Hulk, haven't had solo films. So the concept of Avengers Age of Ultron is to give the second three characters all of the character driven scenes and have them carry the emotional ball through this next movie. And that's what happens. So, your heroes are the Avengers. You have Captain America. Chris Evans is a Captain America who's settled into his role in this modern world as much as he can. Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man is a hero who's trying to save the world all in one shot. He wants to save the world one time forever so that he can essentially stop being a superhero. You have Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson. She is even more she's given more depth than she even had in Captain America 2. Um, Thor's Chris Hemsworth. He is actually the character who's the least changed since the last time we saw him. Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. Well, let's just say that Mark Ruffalo gives us a strong case for there being another solo Hulk film, which unfortunately I doubt there will be, but whatever. And then, of course, Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. Some people have said that this is really a Hawkeye movie and Hawkeye steals the film. I think that's a little bit overstated. He has the biggest backstory in the film, and the Avengers sort of the way the Avengers centered around Tony Stark and what's going on in his life. That's the way this movie centers around Hawkeye and what's going on in his life, but he's not really the main character. It's just, you see more of his life than anybody else's. Um, your villain, James Spader as Ultron. Okay. Um, he's somewhat funnier than he appears to be in the trailers. He's just as menacing. James Spader is James Spader. It's really cool. And Ultron looks awesome. They also deal with the fact that Ultron isn't a robot. Ultron is a program, and there are many, 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 many robots that can carry the Ultron program, and that is pretty much presented in the film, and it's accurate to the comic books. Enemies, well, you know that in the film and in the comic books, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch start out as bad guys. In fact, if you saw the end of what was it? Was it the Avengers that Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are with Hydra? Well, that's where they start in this film. You get a bit of backstory from them. You get quite a bit of action from them as well. Um, the upside of this film. Well, like a good sequel, this movie comes back bitter, badder, and bigger, badder, and stronger than what the original Avengers was. It tries to be the same but a little bit different. In that area, the new characters with their new powers are they bring a different energy to the screen, which in interviews that's what Joss Whedon said he exactly wanted to do. He succeeds there. All of the acting in the film is good. All of the acting in the film is really, really good. The film has a lot of characters in it, and it juggles them very well. It juggles their motivations well, which is even more important. And the second three, that would be, Hulk, Scarlet Witch, and what's his name? Hulk, Scarlet Witch, and Hawkeye. Those three, the fact that they get to step up and carry more of the film is a strong upside for this thing. And the final upside for this film, the vision. The vision is freaking awesome, and that's all I'm going to say about that. The downside of the film. A slight one is if you don't watch the TV show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you will probably be lost for the first 5 minutes of this film, simply because it picks up right after the events of the episode that aired the week before the movie debuted in the US. So kind of watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right up to that episode and then go into this movie and you'll be fine. Also, Thor doesn't have as big of an emotional journey as the other characters in the film. That's noticeable. However, his part isn't smaller, his acting isn't worse, and he's just as much a part of the action. It's just that his emotional journey is slightly shallower than anybody else's. And the final downside is that some of the action, mostly early on in the film, you can tell some of the CGI is CGI. And it's not that you couldn't in the first film. It's one of those things where this time you've seen it before and you can recognize it a little bit more. But it's not really a problem for me anyway. So my final score for this film, for me, I'm gonna give this film 5 stars. Um, I would understand someone giving this movie 4.5 stars, maybe at a stretch if you're in a bad mood for. But anyone who loves superhero movies, anyone who loves action movies, anyone who loves a big summer blockbuster, if you're looking for more than what this film gives, you're crazy. The 5-star movie, Avengers Age of Ultron.